those of you who don't know me. How many people are new to 1 Million Cups? Got a couple. Anyone back here? Okay. You're new, yay! It's Mike's daughter, woo! That's not Mike's daughter? Okay, sorry. Bad guess. Well, for those of you who haven't been, this is a weekly educational program where we have entrepreneurs come and tell their stories about what they're passionate about and how that passion led to building the companies that they're working on. And what problems are they solving? Who are they solving it for? What struggles are they going through? So what are those challenges that they've had to figure out? Uh-oh. Still working? Cool. So as I was saying, so what are some of those challenges that they face? And how can we learn from the way that they solved or overcame those challenges? And then what are some of the successes that they've had so that we can celebrate their success in our community? And also, this story can stick with us and we can go and tell it and make sure that these people creating value in our communities are heard, and we can be the people who can evangelize those for everyone. Couldn't do this though without our sponsors. Little Rock Regional Chamber of Commerce for helping us get this off the ground, and initially actually giving me the opportunity to come and work for them. And also the Venture Center and the Venture Center staff for giving us boots on the ground efforts every single week, helping us set up, helping us identify presenters, and working with the Tech Park with this amazing space. And then Sparkable, CDOTS Media, and actually our presenter this week, all come together and we make this happen as a group of entrepreneurs that really just care about helping other entrepreneurs get noticed and get the help that they need in our community. We couldn't do this though without the Kauffman Foundation. So they're kind of the brainchild of the 1 Million Cups program. They're based out of Kansas City. And we were one of the earlier cities that got in with their program. And so we're very thankful that we have a charter for 1 Million Cups here in Little Rock. And that puts us in kind of the ranks of about 70 plus 1 Million Cups cities. So the cool thing is we've got Nicholas back there who's tweeting, and he'll be capturing kind of all the, and Mike, they'll be capturing some of the best parts of 1 Million Cups, inspirational quotes, things that they feel like are critical things with the entrepreneurial business, and they're sharing that with the 1 Million Cups network. So since there's 70 plus communities, if you use hashtag 1MC, that puts you in that dialogue on Twitter, and the 1 Million Cups kind of main channel from operated out of Kauffman, they'll retweet you. So if you're a business that wants to scale and wants to get noticed in other communities, it's a great way. And then they may even invite you to come and present in their city. And some of the cities have upwards of 300 people that attend 1 Million Cups every single week. So really, really cool that we get to be a part of this. For those of you who haven't been, and for those of you who have been, I love drilling into your brain because I know that y'all will tell other people. So thank you for bearing with me. But that's pretty much how it works. And once again, thank you all for coming out. We're going to get to the part that everybody is here for. And we're going to hear today from one of our organizers. So I met Susie Cowan actually because she came to 1 Million Cups because she was interested in supporting people making things happen in Arkansas. And that was pretty much the basis of it. And then what she discovered was kind of this really cool community that she felt like really vibed with what she was passionate about. And so since then, after she actually presented as an entrepreneur, we invited her to become one of our organizers with us because what she works on and everything she does is really just in the spirit of wanting to grow our entrepreneurial creative community. And so we're so thankful to have her on our team, and we're really excited to hear from her today because she's got some cool stuff to tell you. So without further ado, Susie, come on up. Give her a warm welcome.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming out this morning. We are going to talk a little bit about Legends of Arkansas. Legends of Arkansas is an all-Arkansas music and art festival that we started in 2013. And the whole purpose of Legends of Arkansas is to promote independent business in Arkansas, whether it be musicians, artists, t-shirt vendors, jewelry makers, breweries, distilleries, whatever it is, we want to help promote that here in our own community. So I am a founding member and event planner and executive director of LOA Inc. LOA is the nonprofit that we created to support Legends of Arkansas. Legends of Arkansas is in its third year. We are planning this year. The first year was 2013. We had 1,000 attendees. This year, 2 years later, we're planning for 10 to 20,000 attendees. So we're growing at an extremely rapid rate. So hopefully people are catching on to what we're trying to get across about living local and keeping your money in your own community. There is 4 basic, goals for Legends of Arkansas, and that is to promote independent business, number 1. Number 2 is to showcase the talented people of Arkansas. Number 3 is to educate the people how easy it can be to keep your money in your own community. And the 4th one, and my favorite, celebrate our friends and neighbors for living their dreams. So with those 4 goals, we have stuck to our guns. And this year, the participation and support from the city programs, from the Chamber of Commerce to the Innovation Hub, and just all different aspects of the cool resources here in our city for entrepreneurs and our makers and our independent business people. So that's really cool that everybody's coming together to help us celebrate what's going on. So just over a year ago, Mike Steele walked into the shop that I work down the street. I work at the Dandelion, and it is owned by one of my favorite chefs and his wife. And in the same shop is the Freckled Frog, which is owned by 2 artists that represent about 50 different Arkansas artists. So it's an extremely local business. And he came in to find out the story. So I was very happy to share those stories with him. But before he got out the door, of course, he was going to hear all about Legends of Arkansas. So he invited me to 1 Million Cups, and I came, and I'm still here. Pretty much every single week. I absolutely love it here. Some of the things that I've learned through 1 Million Cups that have helped us along our journey have been, number 1, I feel like I've learned a whole new language. There's words that I had no idea what meant. There is, oh no, I lost it. Sorry about that, guys. About that. I'm back. So one of the coolest things that I've learned being a part of 1 Million Cups is, number 1, I'm not alone. It's because for 2 years I worked endless hours. Sometimes I work 20 hours a week. Sometimes I work 80 hours a week. And this is a side project. I've never been paid for. It's just something I really believe in. But a lot of those hours I spent alone in my house on a computer staring at a screen, and I felt really alone. I didn't know anything about our entrepreneurial community. I didn't know anything about the resources from the city. I didn't know anything about just the different groups like 1 Million Cups that are here to help each other support in our business ventures. So that was really cool. My pitch, wow, it's improved probably 100%. Because honestly, I really didn't even know. I'd heard of a pitch, but I didn't really know what it meant until 1 year ago when I was preparing for my first time I presented at 1 Million Cups. And I love it. I think it's great. The networking skills and getting connected. This is huge. Through the people that I've met through 1 Million Cups, we've ended up with a fantastic video from Lucas Dean from RetroCat Media. Nicholas has changed my whole life in social media and how I approach things. Just watching and learning from him and little hints of advice he's given me. Through the relationships I've made through 1 Million Cups, my organization has benefited so much. We are at another level simply because of the people I've met here in this room. One of the main things that has helped me, and it's one of the hardest things to talk about, is honesty. When I'm telling them about 1 Million Cups and I'm telling them about Legends of Arkansas, and they're just shaking their head and they're nodding and they're smiling, that's great at the time, but those aren't the people that help you. The people that help you are like, yeah, Susie, that sounds great, but you really need to step it up a notch. Or you really need to rethink that idea. You need to step back and rethink things. Those are the people that have helped me the most. And the funniest thing happened. I went to Kansas City for the 1 Million Cups Organizer Summit, which was super cool. And while I was there, this guy got up and he was talking all about the perfect pitch. And this was how to train and how to help our presenters. But at the same time, I'm like a sponge, just soaking it up, loving every second of it, because what they didn't know was the next Tuesday, I was doing my first real pitch. And it was a first real pitch over 6 figures. And if any of y'all know me, y'all know that's a huge amount of money. Like the biggest sponsor we've ever had is $5,000. So to be pitching a 6-figure just pitch in itself was just absolutely nuts. So I'm getting this firsthand, like all this advice and knowledge. And I get there and I think I'm so prepared. And I'm like walking in, head held high, knowing I'm just going to kill it. This guy tore me apart. It was the funniest thing. I felt like I was on Shark Tank, and he was just like, no, that is not going to fly, and you're going about this all wrong. But by the time I left that meeting, the guy had his phone out and was handing me emails and phone numbers and telling me how to accomplish that goal that I had. And then, I mean, by the end of it, he understood why I went that drastic, I guess I could say. But that meeting changed my life, because I realized at that time what I was capable of if I just paid attention to the people around me. And I also learned that it doesn't matter how prepared you are. It doesn't matter what your presentation looks like, how good your pitch is. If you don't have passion behind it, you're never going to get through the door. That's why he pulled out his phone and started handing me emails and phone numbers, because he saw the passion behind what we're doing. My professionalism didn't impress him at all, but my passion won him over in the end. And I truly believe, I was writing a description last night, and I truly believe that we can change and make a stronger economy for our own community by educating people how to keep their money local. So if we can do that in a fun and family-friendly, free music and art festival, if we use that as a tool to do it, well, I think that that sounds like a great way. So anyway, I appreciate y'all letting me speak today and letting me share with you my 1 Million Cups journey. And I would also like to mention that this Friday is a huge day for Legends of Arkansas. September 19th is our next big event. And Friday, we will be launching our crowdfunding campaign, which has been super exciting. I never knew. It was actually kind of fun going through all the process, because it really makes you dig deep, and you want to tell your story in a way that people really grasp it and they want to be a part of it. And so, yeah, if you'll watch out for that coming this Friday on our Indiegogo campaign, that'd be great. And you can always find our information at legendsofarkansas.com. Well, thank you so much for letting me speak today.
Put up for Susie. Okay, and just because you're an organizer doesn't mean you get out of questions. So we're going to open it up. If anyone have a first question? Yes, 1 second. And hold on 1 second, because we have people watching the live stream. So if you don't mind, if you are asking a question, say your name and what you do if you feel comfortable doing that.
My name is Laurie Lang Burnham, and I'm asking about the nonprofits that I work with. And it's a new nonprofit, so I'm just getting out there and having to ask for the money. So when you were learning about your pitch, what were some of the things that came to you that you needed to add to your pitch when presenting?
Well, we've never had any traditional funding. We don't do anything traditionally in my world for some reason. So probably the most things that I've learned is be clear and concise. Turn it into a graph if you can. I've learned that just words kind of, people don't want to read all that. They don't, I mean, even if they're interested, they don't really want to read all that. So if you can turn it into a graph, that has been one of the biggest things that has probably helped me close deals, I guess is a good way to put it. We operate on sponsorship dollars, and so we have very accessible levels. You can be involved with Legends of Arkansas for as little as $35, or if you'll demonstrate your art, you can have a free booth, all the way up to you can put your name on top of it for $5,000. So we have all different levels, but I think that the most thing that I've learned regarding your question would just be make it as simple as possible, and graphs are great. Yeah.
Any next questions?
Hey, Susie. This is I'm of course a big fan, of what you're doing with Legends. Could you talk about what Legends in your mind looks like in, 3 years, 5 years, and the impact that it could have on the state in terms of local business?
Yes, and the answer is still the same as when you asked me that question sitting in the chamber when I was doing my huddle for my presentation last year. If I could jump 2 years down the road, which would be our 5th year, we would have all stages going all the way down the river. One at the Belvedere, because the Belvedere has huge amount of like musical history relevance here in Little Rock. The Belvedere is the pavilion right here by the kids park. It's a very cool little area, but there has been a lot of music happen there through the years. There's been a lot of songs written by national artists. I think Jason Isabel actually wrote a song sitting over there one day. But anyway, so we would go down the river. It's always going to be free to the public, which is a very difficult task to pull off. But I need this accessible. It has to be accessible for someone that has 3 kids, 6 kids, whatever. Because when they get out there, they're going to walk down that row of vendors, and they might see somebody making a soap or something, and then they can order that soap from them monthly that's generating a monthly residual income to add to our economy. So just getting them there is important. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't think that the actual format's going to change any. 4 stages is as big as we'll ever be. This year, we're only going to have 2 stages. We had 4 stages last year, but we weren't going far enough down the river, so it was extremely distracting. It was too much going on in too small of a space. So this year, we're pulling back. And the bands have longer sets, which that was common feedback, was that they weren't up there long enough. Once they got going good, it was time to get off. So the bands have longer sets. There's only 20 bands. But 20 bands for free is a pretty good deal. So, yeah, it's really and truly in 5 years, I see this going all the way down the river. Probably maybe 100,000 people show up for the 11 hours, and it making a huge impact on the downtown economy. I guess I could throw in right here that our economic impact the first year with only 1,000 attendees was $57,000. I'm sorry, it was $45,000. The second year, it was $159,000. So, and that was growing from 1,000 to 5,000. So if we just double this every year for the next 2 years, we'll hit that 100,000 mark, and we'll make a huge impact on downtown Little Rock and North Little Rock.
Okay, now I have a question if anyone else doesn't. What in your life was kind of the thing that led you to this? Like what has attracted you to this type of giving with like the local movement, and maybe what was like your first experience where you're like, I want to support local people and this is what I'm about?
I mean, honestly, it's how I was raised. I was raised in a small town, 40 miles south of here, 50 miles south of here, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. A lot of y'all have heard of it. My dad was an accountant at Beer Kurtz & Dawson for 37 years. And when I was little, it didn't matter if I was going to the dentist or the dry cleaner or getting insurance, it had to be one of his clients. And I was taught from a very early age that we support those people that support him, and that keeps the money rolling right here in our own community. So it was really just kind of embedded in me from day one. But for years, I traveled around selling T-shirts at different festivals and concerts around the country. And then I come back to Little Rock, and I've got a couple stores where I wholesale. But unless I want to go set up a booth at the River Market, there's not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of places for vendors to set up to sell. There's Etsy Fest, which is fantastic, and the girls that put it on are absolutely wonderful. But that's once a year. And there's different opportunities like that. but they're very far and few between. So we wanted to create something almost like an annual, just once a year blowout for these independent businesses to come out and show their new line of t-shirts or their new line of jewelry or, the new line of moonshine or these new breweries. We're going to have Lost 40 out there, Diamond Bear, and Moody Brews are all going to be out there. Loblolly is creating a flavor just for us for that day. So it's their chance to come out and show out and hopefully pick up that residual income, maybe even from other business owners that are there. So it's a great place for business owners to connect. But what led me to where I'm at today, to where I am so dedicated to educating the public about living local, is that I want a different community for my children. I want a community, my kids even now know if we're going to go get ice cream, we're not going to Baskin Robbins. They just know that. Like, they know we're going to La Valley or we're going to La Pops. And so even as a kid, like the generation, I'm teaching the next generation. My son's 15 and he had to buy a birthday present for his girlfriend a couple weeks ago. And he's like, take me to the Fraggle Frog. I need to buy her a native shirt. And at that moment, I knew that, it's really going to make a change in the way our kids spend their money and where their money goes and where those jobs go. Are they going to China? Or are they going to stay right here in Little Rock? So that's what drives me.
Very cool. I have one real quick. Okay. So you talked about the vendors and kind of maybe what people would more relate to as entrepreneurs. But I also think that the other part of your festival, which is the entertainment, is also very entrepreneurial. And you love supporting those people too. Do you have any stories of some of your entertainment that people probably need to know about, or any stories of ones that have come and then they've blown up, or maybe they're on the path to that?
Yes, we absolutely do. So when I say independent business, in my mind, I'm automatically talking about the musicians and the artists, because if anybody's ever been in a band, you know that there's a real business behind that. And if you're not good at it, you're not going to succeed. So at least one person in that band has to stay up in the business world and keep the books straight and keep everything straight for them to succeed at that business. So we're not trying to get national acts. We're not trying to bring in the people that left Arkansas and made it big. That's great. I'm really happy for them. But what we're trying to celebrate is the people that are playing their hearts out. Like Brian Nayland. There is not a day that goes by that I don't look at my Facebook and he is playing somewhere else that night. He is at Cregan's. He is at Cajuns. He is wherever they will let him play, because that's what he wants to do. So those are the type of artists we're trying to celebrate. We have brought back some people that are touring nationally, but they are very proud that they are from Arkansas. And they have come and they've played for us. Woe Dakota, Mark Edgar Stewart killed it when he came last year. He played in the afternoon. And now he was the Memphis Flyers 2013 Artist to Watch. And he has totally lived up to that. He is so great. But he is from Pine Bluff. We actually grew up in the same neighborhood. So it was really fun conversation, being able to send him a message, being like, hey, remember me, the troublemaker from the other side of the neighborhood? I need you to come play a concert for us. So it is really fun bringing them back. But our focus is to celebrate these musicians that a musician's goal, most of their goal in life is to just play music and not have to have that day job. Well, we're trying to help promote that. Because not only do we bring the musicians out, I literally, physically myself go to every music venue here in town and hand out VIP passes to the booking agents. And I'm like, come, this is like a buffet for you. You can sit there all day long and just pick out one band after another. And what's really cool is I know it's working because you can watch the lineups after the main event and watch how the bands are playing at new places where they've never played before. So just that introducing the different musicians to new venues, because it's hard to go talk to people you don't know. It's real easy for me to walk into Midtown and talk to Conan because I know him. But it's really hard for me to walk into these other venues where I don't necessarily know the people and have that same ease of comfort with them. So the thing about, one of the things I love about Legends of Arkansas is that it breaks down all those barriers. It breaks down the barriers between the booking agents and the musicians. Everybody's really out there just to have a good time and maybe show off a little bit what they're doing these days, but they're really out there to have a good time, and it breaks down those barriers.
So, just a comment, first, for just one just actually business for a long time. I mean, I think you are way better than the last time you presented, early on when you were just starting this. But, given that passion, could you talk a little bit, you mentioned some events, and some events, after stuff that happens out there, it's different local events. Could you talk a little bit about what your kind of vision or how much a local, it's not a local economy, especially downtown Rock, needs to grow?
Yes. Well, one thing that a lot of people don't know is that we all work together. And that's a really cool thing. I've spent many a nights with the Etsy girls. I've spent many of afternoons with Arkansas Earth Day Foundation Board trying to work out the details to make it as appealing for our community as possible and as educational for our community as possible. There is a huge local movement going on right now. There's a lot of people that really care about our community and making sure that our future, the economic future of our community is strong. And I believe that the only way to do that is by building it from within. And that's where we're headed, is the more we all work together, the more we're going to conquer. I mean, divided we fall, together we conquer. And that's what's happening is I go to meeting after meeting with another person that has a great idea of how to promote our talented people. I mean, you go all over the world and you say you're from Arkansas, and I guarantee you're going to get the reaction of Johnny Cash or or the arts and crafts. I hear that a lot when I travel. This is their favorite place to go antiquing, and this is their favorite place to go to crafts and stuff like that. The reason why is because we're all so talented here. And I'm glad to find the rest of the world's finally realizing it. But what makes me sad is that people leave to go become famous, or people leave to go get that good job in Dallas. Those good jobs are now moving to Little Rock, thanks to the people in this room and the people from the chamber that worked so hard to make this appealing for the tech community coming out of Austin and Boulder. One of the things I've always said about Little Rock, the cool thing is that it's a wide open market. If you have a good idea here, chances are good nobody else is doing it. You have that same great idea in Austin, and there's 100 of them already going on. So to me, Little Rock's just like fresh and ripe for the picking right now, because we are booming at such a rapid rate. I mean, to think about that, it's only been 1 year since I started coming to 1 Million Cups, and how much impact it has had on my life and my organization, that multiplied by everybody in this room and what they've gotten from 1 Million Cups. I think that, that's just a drop in the bucket of actually what's going on in Little Rock. And I think it's really cool.
Well, that's about all the time we have. Might have room for one more question if anyone has one. Okay. Well, let's give it up for Susie one more time.
Thank you.
Hey, one thing she didn't say is she had a few things I think about entrepreneurs and something, and she said entrepreneurs always hug, so give me a hug. So how we end every single 1 Million Cups, you guys know this. What's the one thing we can do that we can leave with today and act on to help you out?
We're always looking for sponsors that fit the criteria of an independent business that needs advertising for a reasonable rate. We're always looking for volunteers, always. It is a volunteer-run program. None of us have ever been paid. We do it all because we love it. And so if anybody wants to join in on it, there's lots of warm and fuzzies to go around that day. Volunteers, sponsors, and yeah, check out our website, legendsofarkansas.com.
All right. Thank you, Susie. All right. So that's wrapping things up. We've got a few events from the Venture Center coming up. I don't know the dates, but I do know there's a 2 days to start up, and that is
August 21st.
August 21st. There's also
Member Mixer is August 11th.
Member Mixer August 11th, and then the hackathon, is that open?
That's October 17th.
Hackathon, the Jolt Hackathon is October 17th.
Yes, sir.
And then is there a Codit that is on the horizon?
Codit was last night.
Okay.
But it'll be
And if you want to stay in touch with what's going on here event-wise, you can go to venturecenter.co, go to the events tab, and you'll see more.
also, just so everyone here knows, because it's coming up, the 2 days to startup, we had a real good event with Pitch and Pint. 2 days to startup, there is special early bird pricing till August 3rd. So it's right around the corner. So grab that. It's venturecenter.co/2 days, but you'll want to take advantage of that because it's a significant discount.
Yes, and if you're not familiar with the concept of kind of a startup competition, essentially come and pitch your idea, you kind of form a team, go through the process and build out kind of a minimum version of your business, and then you pitch it to a panel of like VCs and other entrepreneurs that will rank who the best ones are, and then I'm sure there are prizes.
Yeah, this one's going to be, we're working to try to bring in some research from the university and also some problems from local established businesses for teams to work on. So even if you don't have an idea, you can come in and take advantage of some of this. So we're going to have prizes, awards, that kind of thing. So
Cool.
Addition.
So that's all the latest stuff with the Venture Center. Anybody have any? We got Tech Fest, and that's October 16th. Like Susie was telling us, September 19th. I want to say 18th every time. 19th. You have Legends of Arkansas. Does anybody else have any? Yeah. What do you got going on? Okay. Okay. So a Yappy Hour. Okay. So tell us about what that is.
A Yappy Hour is basically dog friendly, and we're a dog rescue transport called Southern Paws Transport, and we have a dog that needs some extra vetting, so we don't put any dog down. So we're trying to raise money. Come have a cocktail.
Cool. Anybody else have anything?
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming out. Next week, we've got a couple startups that are kind of in the pipeline, and we're trying to figure out which one we want to schedule for next week. But we promise it'll be a good one. Both of them are pretty legit. And today is Co-working Wednesday, so if you want to stick around, have some meetings here at the Venture Center, feel free to do so. And that's always free to anyone every Wednesday. And coffee's good until it runs out. So,
And then we'll make more.
and then we'll make more. So enjoy the rest of your day. Stay caffeinated, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.